Welcome back, all you diehards, to the third and final video of this Back to Basics series that is so valuable to those that are new to PowerDirector, or even those more experienced users that might have missed a good point or two. Today's video is all about the third section of the main editing window, the timeline. There are many things in editing procedures that you can do with clips on a timeline, but those specifics have been or will be covered by separate videos about editing techniques. This video is all about the timeline itself, which is the magical place where your entire video project comes together through the efforts of the editing process. In today's video, I'll show you some strange and unusual things about the timeline because I myself am strange and unusual.
I myself am strange and unusual.
You are looking at the default layout of PowerDirector, which will always start showing just 3 tracks, with each track consisting of both a video track with an audio track. You will notice there is video track 1 followed by audio track 1. Then the method repeats for track 2 and all other subsequent tracks. PowerDirector is different than Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, and other editors in that PowerDirector shows the related video and audio tracks together instead of all video followed by all audio. To me, this makes sense because when you place a video track on the timeline, the audio is actually part of the same file. So PowerDirector links them together and displays them together. If you move one, the other automatically comes along with it. On my timeline, I already have the mountain biker video on track 2. And you notice it occupies both the video and audio portions of track 2. If I move the clip to the right, both portions stay together and move together. I'll right-click on the clip and select to link, unlink video and audio. Then I can move each portion independent of the other. Or I can delete the existing audio portion entirely. And then add my own background music if I want, such as the audio file speaking out from my media library window. Now it is quite a bit longer than the original video, so I'll quickly trim it to fit. I could relink the 2 tracks back together by selecting both with the Control key, then right-clicking and selecting Link and Unlink again. Now, just like they are married together as I move them around the timeline. I'll move the clip all the way to the left, keeping it on track 2, and then I'm going to drop down the volume level on the audio side to keep it from blasting out your eardrums. Now let's play a little bit of this new video in audio. Okay, that's enough. PowerDirector does something else different than most other video editors, and that by default, their track priority is designed with a bottom-up approach. Now, what that means is that anything on track 2 or greater will have priority in being displayed over track 1. I'm going to drag down the food image and place it on track 2 far to the right of the bikers. I want to make that food image smaller than full screen, and PowerDirector gives you at least 2 ways of doing that. I could hit the blue edit button and then change the height or width in there, but some recent changes to PowerDirector allows me to accomplish this directly in the preview window. I'll click on one of the small white circle gadgets in the corners and drag it inwards until I get the size that I want, approximately 1/4 in size. And then move the image down towards the center. I'll then go down to the timeline and move that food clip under the biker video, aligning it with the end. I'll move the playhead to just before the food image, but I'm also going to disable the audio because, well, we've already heard it. Now I'm going to hit play, and as you can see, the bikers are displayed first, but when the playhead passes over the food image, it takes priority and it is displayed on top of the bikers. Now that, my friends, is track priority with the bottom-up concept that PowerDirector uses. What if I had a third image, such as something smaller from the overlay stickers category? If I were to place it under the food image, will it completely override the food image because of track priority? Or will we see all three clips at the same time? Well, let's find out. I'm going to click on Overlays on the top menu, then Stickers, and then Popular, for no particular reason other than to choose some things from just one category. With the playhead off of the clips for the time being, I'm going to drag down the subscribe image titled Promotional 63. And I'm going to place it on track 3, aligning it with the end. Which now gives me the opportunity to remind all you new viewers to click that YouTube subscribe button just underneath this video that you are watching. And then click on the little bell icon that appears just to the left of the word subscribed and select all, so that you can get notified whenever I post another new video to this channel. Now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'll then move the playhead to just before those clips and hit play. When it's done, I'll scrub the playhead back to a position that is over all three clips, and you've now seen more of the bottom-up priority in PowerDirector because the subscribe image appears on top of the food image, which appears on top of the biker video. But remember, according to PowerDirector, things that are displayed on top should be at the bottom in the timeline. That just doesn't sound logical to me, and after all these years, I'm becoming a fan of changing over to the top-down method of track priority, just like most other video editing software uses. Fortunately, PowerDirector allows you to change this. I'll go to Settings, then Editing, and in the Timeline section near the bottom is the option to reverse timeline track order. By default, this is unchecked, but I'm going to check it and then click OK to exit back to the timeline. Notice that nothing has changed in the preview window, but when I now look at the timeline, it makes logical sense. Clips at the top of the timeline will appear on top in the display. Yes, I'm switching over to the dark side of this because someone wanted me to do it. I can't mention any names, Ken, but it's now a done thing. Next, because I previously showed you how to undock the other two main sections of the main editing window, I'll show you how to undock the timeline. Just right-click anywhere on the timeline, not in the left side column, and select Dock, Undock Timeline. I can move it around or even slide it over to a second monitor where I can maximize it there. Now that would be handy if you have a project with 7 or 8 tracks being used, because you can easily see all 7 tracks or even more on a maximized timeline window while you access the library and watch the preview on the other monitor. I'll now click in the upper right of the timeline window to redock the timeline. I did say that you might see some things that are strange and unusual, so this is where I'm going to get strange and unusual. The first thing is to right-click anywhere on the timeline and choose Add Tracks. From there, I'm going to change the 1 at the top to a 5 and then click OK. Immediately, you can't see them unless I use the scroll bar on the right side. And now for the strange and unusual part, I'm going to add some more clips to the timeline. This is going to take some time, so watch me go as fast as I can. Now that I have all the elements in place, it's difficult to see all 8 tracks at the same time. I could resize the timeline up to its maximum height, but even then I can't quite see what's on track 8 without using the scroll bar along the far right side. You might also notice that all 8 tracks include an audio track, but only track 1 has audio. So here is another way to make it easier to edit a project with many tracks. I'll just right-click in the timeline area. It doesn't have to be in the left column. And select Remove Empty Tracks. Now I can resize the timeline down, allowing a larger preview in Media Library area. There is yet another way to change the height of the timeline window to allow you to see all the tracks at the same time. If you hover the mouse over the bottom edge of any track, such as track 1's video, I can drag it downward to any height that I like. I can do it to all tracks at once by right-clicking in the left column and selecting Adjust Video Track Height. And then I'm going to select Large. But now the track heights are so large, it's difficult to see most of them at the same time. I'm going to repeat this process, only this time I'll select Small. Now that gives me plenty of room, so I'm going to resize the timeline back downward. There are 3 other special tracks that are normally not shown: the chapter track, the subtitle track, and the effects track. The chapter and subtitle tracks can be enabled by right-clicking in the left column and choosing to enable either one of them, which will appear at the top of all other tracks. The effects track is a special one that is commonly used to apply certain video effects to either an entire project or to just several clips at the same time. I'm going to right-click anywhere in the timeline or in the left column and choose Add Tracks. Now down at the bottom is the option to add 1 or more effect tracks above selected tracks. I'm going to add 1 track to be above track 8. But before I click OK, notice at the very top, PowerDirector automatically wants to add 1 more audio and video track, and it wants it to do it below track 1. PowerDirector always wants to add this 1 set of tracks, so be sure to watch out for it. If you happen to forget about it and accidentally create tracks that you don't plan on using, you can always delete them. I'll pretend I didn't see it, and I'm going to go ahead and click on OK anyhow. Now I have my effect track above track 8 as desired, but I also have that new 1 track that is now called track 1 simply because it's at the bottom. I don't need it, so I'll first click anywhere on the track to select it, and then I'm going to right-click and choose Remove Selected Track. Now I end up with all that I really wanted, just a new effect track at the top. I'm going to click on Effects at the top menu above the library window, then Video Effects, then Retro, and finally I'm going to choose Black and White, which I'll drag down to the effects track and place it so that it only covers the main video part and not the added stickers. But wait, there's more. In keeping with my strange and unusual theme, I want to add 1 more effect track. I'll right-click anywhere in the timeline and choose Add Tracks. When the Track Manager window opens, down at the bottom, I'll choose to add 1 track above track 8. But this time, I'll make sure to change that other track at the top to 0. And then I'm going to click OK. And there I have another effect track at the top of the timeline. This time I'll choose the timestamp effect from the library and place it on the new effect track, but only where it covers the overlay stickers. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to click the blue Edit button. There are multiple parameters here that can be customized. I think I'll move just the position away from that bright upper right in the corner by clicking on Position Modify. In the Modify window that opens, I'll then move the time code down towards the center where it might be more visible, and then hit OK. Once again, I'll move the playhead to the beginning, and then I'm going to hit play. I should point out one or more recent changes to the timeline, and that is the addition of the Toolbar just above the timeline, which contains some basic editing functions and advanced functions. Clicking on the button on the far right allows you to customize the toolbar, where you can either remove some existing or add some less frequently used functions. Your options to add functions are determined by what type of media you currently have selected. For example, audio clips will have different options than video clips. I'm not going to make any changes here, so I'll just click Cancel. One item that you probably have done, or else seen me do countless times, but just in case you are not familiar with it, you can zoom in and out on the ruler portion of the timeline. Just move your mouse to anywhere on the ruler, left click, then slide to the left or right. Just to the left of the ruler, the first icon, when clicked, will set the zoom to show the entire video in the current display window. So there we go. That should be enough information to give even the beginners a good grasp of how to edit and manipulate things in the timeline. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below by clicking on the comments section below and then add a comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.